Damon here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for sure. And it's the big question as we're asking this one. What are 3 of the hardest achievements you've ever earned? Specific to the Xbox consoles where achievements are, but it could also be doubled up as trophies if you've actually earned them as well. Racking our brains, going for our long history of video game playing when achievements came into action. And yeah, thinking of 3 of the most difficult, most challenging achievements that we have actually earned. Not failed at, not managed to get or heard about, but we've actually done. 3 each. We'll take it one by one each at a time. And for me, 2 came to mind immediately. Only 1 ended up being in my top 3. The other 2 I looked up and I was like, oh yeah, those ones. And that's how I came up with mine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was quite difficult because obviously my original account was wiped, and then I took like a 2-year break from Xbox.
Yeah.
Because of that, but then I always remember these 3 ones standing
Specifically,
out. Standing out.
Like, enough so that you would ever want to do them again?
Oh, no, I would never want to do them again.
Right,
No,
you might end up doing them again.
Well,
you never know.
shit.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of mine I will talk about doing that again and what the difference was. Weirdly enough, this time. But we'll start with you then. You do one first. You do your first one.
Yeah. So my first one is Max Payne 3.
Oh,
So
fucking
Max
hell!
Payne
I've not
3.
done it.
Yep.
I didn't even want to. I took one look at that achievement and went, nope.
The name of the achievement is the shadow rushed me, and it's basically completing the entire game on the hardest mode without dying.
Yep.
And I remember, I don't know how long it took me. It took me a long time, and I remember I got to the end boss 3 or 4 times, and instead of shooting the boss, I shot the girl like 3 or 4 times, and I ripped my hair out. And then I remember when I finally done it, I was ecstatic.
Yep.
And then I even went back on like True Achievements, for example, to read up, and apparently there's a glitch for it now.
Oh,
so basically you can glitch it a lot easier.
Oh, you can get through a lot easier. That's
Yes.
always good to know. Then, if you ever want to do it that way, yeah, I know the achievement you're talking about. That is not an achievement I ever wanted to do. I thought it would would drive me nuts, and well, yeah, no, never. That Max Payne 3 will always be incomplete for me because of achievements like that, as well as like the multiplayer and stuff like that. All right, Naughty Bear. Do you remember the game Naughty Bear?
Yep.
So you played like a sort of a Naughty Bear, and you were going around, and the idea was to rack up points by killing and scaring the other bears who were going about their life. It was a fun game with huge fucking flaws. Huge flaws. But it had some difficult achievements as well. And the one I pulled out is the achievement called Nutted. N-U-T-T-E-R with like 4 or 5 exclamation points. And it was for earning 28 platinum naughty cups. And this was basically for getting the highest score to earn platinum cups in a level. It required not just playing the game, it required you to be beyond good at it, like incredibly good at it, earning points, getting high multipliers, constantly keeping the bear scared, moving around at a fast pace, varying up your kills and how you deal with them because you couldn't do 2 of the same ones in a row, and all elements like that. It was very some of the levels are downright near impossible. That is one I've done. I've done that game. I've 100% completed, and that is one of mine. Or I'd forgotten it, and then I saw Naughty Bear, and it flashed in my head, and I was like, oh shit. The platinum trophy ones.
Never played it, but I know what you're talking about. I've never done it myself.
Yeah, it's fucking hard. Yes, that's my first one.
My second one, I could have gone for a number of these, but it's Gears of War.
Okay.
The traditional one, and it's seriously. Now the reason why I've chosen the first one because it was majorly glitched.
Right.
Majorly glitched. If anyone's ever done it, you'll all know that the 10,000 kills. Bullshit, was never 10,000 kills because mine, I can't exactly remember my exact number, but I know it was like 13,000.
Yeah.
It was over that. And I spent, and bearing in mind, I was playing it when the online was dead, so I was literally on True Achievements with when they used to do the old boosting sessions. I was in those, I actually got friendly with a German geezer, me and a German guy that we done it together. And literally, I spent weeks and weeks of just doing running backwards and forwards, tagging grenade, and he tagged me with a grenade.
Is that a hard achievement though? That's grinding, but like I wouldn't call it hard.
It's a hard achievement because of the effort had to be put in.
Indeed, I guess. Good. Yep. Good point. Yeah.
And I said I know a lot of people gave up, especially the fact that
of course I've never done that.
When you hit 10,000 and it doesn't pop. And then, mine popped in 13,000.
Well, yeah, I think if you hit 10,000, you'd be like, okay, it's glitched.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep continuing. It'll pop.
But I know that the guy I did it with, and or the group I did it with, it was like 8 of us. Mine popped and I stayed with them to
Well, you had
finish
to,
it.
yeah, it's kind of the
course.
rule, yeah.
But I know one guy didn't get it to like 15. One guy got it at 10. It was like seriously glitched. I mean, I presume that when they re-released it, they might have fixed it.
I would presume.
But I've never.
Well, you're not going to do it again, exactly, are you? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't put it in the effort.
No, that to me is what those sort of achievements are stupid. Really, really stupid.
Yes.
I personally don't consider them a challenge because ultimately you can just do them, as you said, with tagging grenades and killing each other, other than being immensely boring and having to put a lot of effort in. And that is hard. Obviously, Gears of War 2 would do seriously 2.0. In fact, they've all had really obnoxious ones, haven't they? But yeah, I think the first one is easily the hardest because it was in multiplayer.
Yes.
That was the biggest thing of all. Okay, my next one is legitimately hard. Dante's Inferno, and this was on one of the DLCs. So I don't remember Dante's Inferno had a DLC. Now you couldn't do this these days because the servers are offline, so you couldn't do these now. That's it. You will not be able to get this achievement now. Anyway, it added trials, single player and multiplayer trials. Where you'd be in an arena, have to fight under specific specific events with specific enemies doing a specific thing. Sometimes you weren't allowed to use this, sometimes you weren't allowed to do that, and so on. There was ones like where you couldn't jump and stuff like that. And there was like, the achievement is, it's in the trial. And it was beat 25 different single player and 15 two-player EA player trials. So that's why. There it is. First off, there wasn't as many as you think. You're thinking, 25 different? Okay, that's cool. All right, that could work and stuff like that. Except I think there was only like 30. So you couldn't even skip many of the hardest ones. You had to do them.
Yeah.
The other problem was the 15 two-player ones. Had to be different. You couldn't double up with some of the single-player ones. Had to be different. But also, you had to have a good teammate. You had to have a good fucking teammate. Because some of them were really fucking challenging. Now, again, similar, I ended up, back in the day, a friend from... through a achievement website and stuff like that, we ended up getting really good at the game and were able to do them together. But I remember that achievement as being one of the most hair-pulling, generally, oh my god, we've just missed out on it by this, or, one of us died and elements like that. It wasn't even so much the single-player one, it was the 15 two-player. Yeah, that's my second one.
I remember Dante's Inferno, but I don't even remember doing that.
It was DLC.
Yeah. My last one is probably the one I'm most proud of.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Left 4 Dead.
All right.
The original, one of the original zombie games.
Yep.
So the achievement was called Untouchables.
Yep.
So basically, it was you had to.
I think I vaguely remember this.
Yeah. So basically, you do 4 stages of the level. The final stage, you got signal the rescue vehicle, and you are not allowed to be touched by anything from a tank, a special infected, or any infected at all. No being touched at all. But what made it my proudest is the fact that I didn't do it with a team. I did it with the AI.
Okay.
And I had eventually, obviously, when I went for Expo, I had a great team.
Mm-hmm.
But I did it with the AI. And even with all the glitches, I didn't do any of the glitches because they didn't work for me. But it's one of those achievements which...
Sounds impossible.
Literally, I remember it was the one with the docks where the boat comes, and I remember just jumping on the boat as a tank to find a massive rock and it missed me by like a millimetre.
Oh, wow.
But obviously, because of the AI are so thick, they literally just run everywhere.
Yep.
But as long as you got on the boat, that was fine.
It didn't matter, yeah.
But
only one needed to get there,
that was...
I've definitely never done that. Yeah. I played Left 4 Dead. I know I've got achievements in it, but certainly not to the depth of that. And that sounds like my idea of hell, because I know how those end parts of Left 4 Dead go.
Yes.
The waves. Okay. Last but not least, one you are very familiar with. It is Batman Arkham Asylum. We are talking about Batman Arkham Asylum here, and we are talking about the combat challenges. Not the Predator challenges. Those can be challenging in their own right. Some of the extreme ones can be very tough. But we are talking about the combat challenges. Specifically, the achievement is Free Flow Gold. 24 medals on combat challenges to be earned. It's one of the last achievements I got in the original game, and part of that is because of one level specifically more than any other. We all know it, we all hate it. It is, of course, because of Shock and Awe Extreme. That is the one where the Electrified 4 is an absolute nightmare. You've also got the extreme elements of it too, so you're stuck in a bit of a timer. The time is quite short. It is so fucking difficult. It is really, really challenging to such an extent. He's making a face because it's no secret. You haven't done it and haven't been able to do it.
Yep. This is one achievement which, and I made a joke with our brother Brendan, that somehow he did it.
Yep.
And I'm good at games. Okay, I've completed some really difficult games. Sorry, Brennan, I'm better at games than Brennan. Okay, but somehow.
Then go back and prove it. Here's the thing. I hear this and I roll my eyes. What? When was the last time you tried it?
Okay, it has been. Literally, we're talking like
years ago.
5, 6 years ago.
So the games were re-released again. Re-released in a package, including a new one, the third game in the series, the last one, and stuff like that. Get them when they're cheap. Buy them when they're cheap. Play them. Do it. Because here's why this one's a little bit debatable. Is I replayed and completed Batman Arkham Asylum, the re-released version, the remastered version, whatever it's called. And when it came to doing these challenges, I was like, here we fucking go. Took me 3 times. I actually almost did it in the first go, and I just made a silly mistake. And I remember going, huh.
Do you think it made it easier then, or
possibly?
Yeah.
Or it's just the fact that I was able to do it. Because a challenge like that relies on luck.
Oh, yeah,
in fact, I struggled more on some of the Predator challenges this time around than I did the combat challenges. But the hardest achievement, it was days of trying to do this achievement back in the day, the Free Flow Gold one. It makes me laugh now because, like I said, with the remake, the remastered version, it was so easy for me. Whereas back then, I just remember it being an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I remember it as well. I remember hours and hours and days, and in the end, I gave up.
Eventually you should do it. You know why? You should at least try and go back to do it to prove something to yourself.
Well, I mean, a completely different game, but obviously, like the Yakuza series.
Yep.
When I first done them, I struggled in the baseball. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3 easy.
Yeah.
Because obviously I got used to it.
Yes, you get better at things the more you play.
Maybe, yeah.
And at least that way you'd have more to play. But that's 3 of our hardest achievements. There are many, many others. You can see one of the ones I crossed out. I initially put it was famously, and I don't care how people try to underplay it now, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Mile High Club on veteran difficulty. You can try to underplay it all you want now. That is still and was one of the hardest achievements and really challenged players. It challenged me. I'll never forget, after many, many tries, getting there and shooting a hostage. And just wanting to cry. And when you eventually do it, you're like, fucking hell. But then Modern Warfare had a lot of hard levels when it came to stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not hard. This one's not hard, but so I didn't want to put it in this list. But Dead Rising, 7-Day Survivor. Because you have to play that game for 14 hours. 14 hours in real time. Which is a big ask of anyone, really. But it's not hard, so it's not hard if you know how to play the game. So I didn't want to put that one either. There are going to be more. Maybe we'll revisit this for now. But for now, this is the big question of those 3 specific ones.
Yep.
What do you reckon? What's your hardest achievement you've ever earned? Let us know in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?